Assalamualaikum, good morning and salam sejahtera to all our media friends. So first of all, I would like to thank you for being here with us this morning. So my purpose here is to give a little bit of speech on the chronology of LRT collisions cases that happened recently. 8:24 p.m. TR40 has moved an empty set without passengers by Automated Train Operation or ATO and route from Gombak to Sungai Subang to the south. TR40 then had a failure or time out and stopped while approaching the platform of Kampung Baru station due to the failure of the train to operate automatically operated. TR81 or ATO is in a static state on the southbound KLCC station platform. 8:24 p.m. Train 81 has departed from KLCC station to Kampung Baru only after receiving information that Train 40 had left Kampung Baru, just headed to Dangwangi station. So, Train 81 has carried a total of 230 passengers and travelled at a speed of 40 km per hour, while Train 40, which has a speed of 20 km per hour, has no passenger and is only operated by an operator who brings the train manually to Gombak for maintenance. So at 8:33 p.m, the train driver or hustler contacted the OCC and informed that the Train 40 collided with the train. So at 8:34 p.m, Train 81 has been identified as a train that has collided with Train 40, carrying a total of 213 passengers. At 8:36 p.m, the OCC has notified the Emergency Response Agency and appointed an officer in charge of the incident area. At 8:45 p.m, passengers began to evacuate from the train, and at 8:50 p.m, the Royal Malaysia Fire and Police (PDRM) team arrived in KLCC, followed by the presence of an ambulance. At 9:23 p.m, all passengers have been evacuated. A total of 47 passengers were seriously injured and sent to Kuala Lumpur Hospital, and a total of 166 passengers with minor injuries received immediate treatment at the scene. On 25 May 2020, Chairman of Prasarana Malaysia Berhad Prasarana, Datuk Seri Tajuddin Abdul Rahman, explained that all victims of the LRT crash will receive compensation of 1,000 ringgit Malaysia, and the cost of the hospital treatment will be borne, as well as financial assistance will also be given to those who cannot work for a period of days. 6 passengers are critical, with 3 of them in need of respiratory assistance at HKL. Another 15 are still being treated at HKL but are reported to be stable. In yesterday's incidents, a total of 64 injured passengers were rushed to HKL, and some of them were allowed to return home after receiving treatment. Prasarana will take 3 days to divert the train involved in yesterday's accident. His party, together with the Ministry of Transport, is actively conducting an investigation, and it is expected to be completed within 2 weeks. Preliminary findings of the cause of the accidents. Preliminary investigations found the accident was due to the negligence of the hustler who drove the Train 40 in the wrong directions. Train 40, which was supposed to move towards southbound forward to Dangwangi station, had moved towards northbound different orientation, which has resulted in a collision occurring between Train 40 and Train 81. It's a little bit about the chronology of the LRT collide. So that is all for me. I'm Nur Shazlana, Minister of Transport. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. I'm Mimi from Investigation Committee. Will be explain more about what happened on the latest LRT train incident. To put more detail about this issue, the train involved were a 4-car Bombardier Innovia Metro 300 train. The number of it was TR81 that carried 213 passengers heading to southbound towards Putrajaya, and a 4-car Bombardier ART 200 train number TR40, which was not in service, intending to head back to Subang Depot for maintenance. So the front car of TR81 and the rear car of TR40 were badly damaged at the cabs. I have a question. So can I know what is the main cause of this accident? So the investigation will focus on the train hostler who's on board the TR40 as the main cause of this accident. So at 6:40 p.m., one of the onboard controller on TR40 failed during service, this causing the train to be taken out of service and sent to Subang Depot for maintenance. So the train was sent automatically as the second controller was still able to operate. However, on 8:30 p.m., the second controller also failed and causing the train to be stalled in between KLCC and Kampung Baru station and was unable to contact the control center. Can I know where was it lost communication at? Okay, thank you for your question. So it was supposed to be brought to the depot via automated train operation for necessary maintenance, but had lost communication with the operation center and stopped at Kampung Baru station. Investigation found that during the process of moving train 40 to be reset back into automated train operation mode, the both hostler and train controller at the operation center had neglected the SOPs. As we can see here, the main cause of this case was miscommunication from operation center. So the collision happened in a tunnel between the KLCC LRT station and Kampung Baru station. As a result, 260 people injured, including 47 with serious injuries. So we hope there will no accident like this in the future.
Hi, my name is Lydia and I am Astro Awani reporter, and I would like to ask you as a CEO of Prasarana, Ms. Farahid, a question pertaining to the LRT incident. Does Prasarana offer 1,000 ringgit in compensation to all 213 LRT crash victims each? Is it will also cover medical costs and lost income? Is it true? I also confirmed that the incidents involved of 213 passengers who were travelling from Gombak to KLCC, a total of 64 passengers who rushed to the hospital with 6 sustaining serious injuries and 3 requiring ventilator support. Other than that, yes, it is true that we will be aiding to those who are hospitalized. We will cover their medical expenses from the day they are admitted until the day they are discharged. Prasarana Berhad will also covering the costs to those who lost their income due to the accident. We will help them with their living expenses for a reasonable number of days until they are fit to go back to work. Did you know the cause of the incident? The cause of the incident is yet to be known, and the authorities are still investigating, but the investigation will take about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but I guess it's going to be 2 weeks. The management have compiled with the Movement Control Order, which is MCO, Standard Operating Procedure, and only carried 230 passengers in the train, who were full capacity of the train is actually 800, but it's only 230 passengers. Some of the pictures that was calculated on social media are all pictures. We have not allowed so many passengers since the MCO have come into the effect. So I also assured that their train service, including LRT and the trains, will resume as usual, and there is no problem in it. So the incident is only between the 2 trains and the track is fine.
As a police, what was the info you received and what would you advise to the public? As stated, passengers who went travel on KLCC lane and Kampung Baru lane were informed to have collided, with 166 were minorly injured, along with 47 people was badly hurt. That takes up to 213 people in the transport during the incident. As I have been informed, one of the trains was being tested from Kampung Baru to Gombak, carrying 213 people. However, We are suspecting there was a communication breakdown at the LRT Central Center when it happened. We will conduct an inquiry in accordance with Section 201 of Land Transportation Act. We really hope that the public will cooperate this issue together by quitting to make any speculation on the inquiry into the collision of two trains from Kelana Jaya LRT line near the KLCC LRT station at this moment. We were informed from Damwangi District Police Head ACP Muhammad Zainal Abdullah to encourage the public to allow the task force team to conduct a comprehensive investigation into this event during this period until we reach to the conclusion. This is to prevent the uncertainty and interruption of peace and public order to our research. Thank you.
How does all the firefighters manage to save all the victims?
Hi everyone, I am Ainurdina and I'm the Department Director. During the incident, cries can be heard throughout the station, with many of them injured and still shocked by what happened. In this situation, 75 members of the Kuala Lumpur Fire and Rescue Department, including elite firefighters from the Underground Tunnel and Rail Rescue Team (UTRT), had to endure almost 2 hours when rescuing 213 victims of LRT accident, and most of the victims were in a state of trauma. However, the UTRT team began to start the rescue mission but faced some difficulties because there were many passengers at the time, and the carriage involved were in a dark tunnel with just a few meters of space between the carriage and the wall. Our UTRT team had to be vigilant at the scene as the flow of electric current could reach up to 750 DC or direct current to move a train. The first thing we did was to ask the lightly injured victims to get out of the train before identifying the seriously injured ones to be rescued. Some of the victims had to be carried or stretchered out in stages because the tunnel route was narrow. I am thankful that the rescue operation went smoothly and that no lives were lost in the incident. Although it was difficult to carry out the victim, everything went well. It is the responsibility of a firefighter to rescue victims using all kinds of means as long as they can be saved. The train accident was one of our biggest challenge, especially for UTRT member. The incident proved that the team from 2 years ago should be strengthened to meet the current needs as many train tracks are being built at the ground. However, we will continue to strengthen this unit from time to time so that any possible implication can be reduced. The crash was the first involving the operator of Klang Valley Metro LRT line since it began operation 23 years ago. In the accident, an empty train that was being tested driven collided with another train carrying 213 passengers in the underground tunnel between KLCC and Kampung Baru stations, leaving 47 with serious injury. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Excuse me, can you tell us how the HKL staff handled the situation of the LRT victims and COVID-19 patients at the same time? We medical workers at HKL acted quickly to treat victims of the crash that occurred on the Kelana Jaya LRT line. Despite already spending long hours caring for other patients, including those with COVID-19, the team's 3 emergency specialists on duty first received 3 critical patients that had arrived at the same time, and 5 minutes after that, 12 ambulances arrived. Emergency Department Head Datuk Dr. Mahadar Abdul Wahab told one of us, which is Datuk Nurul Liana, to take a deep breath and helped her calm down as he listened to the details of the incident. Dr. Al-Zamani then laid out plans to deal with the situation and instructed those who had worked for the evening shift to stay on and help the night crew. He knew that the staff were already tired and looked forward to the end of the day, but we are strong and patient. None of us were disagreed with the order. Instead, we were all eager to do our own responsibility. On the other side of the team of nurses was able to provide bedding to all the patients who should be cared for that night. Adding to all patients had their temperatures checked, and those who should be admitted were also checked for COVID-19. By 1 a.m., all patients were assessed and had a treatment plan, and finally Dr. Mahadar ordered us to stop at 1:38 a.m. As the team rushed to treat the LRT accident victims, similar attention was given to the COVID-19 patients, two of whom were put on ventilators that night. It might be a long night for us, but it is our responsibility to help those who are injured and anyone who is sick. Thank you.